Coming up on OU Nightly, it is finally feeling like fall. How long these fall-like temperatures stick around? Coming up.
And a planned Veterans Day celebration turns disappointing for a local community. Plus, a top U.S. official calls for more support to protect Palestinian lives. This is OU Nightly.
Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Victoria Anderson.
And I'm Noah Mack. As we head into Veterans Day celebrations, a small Oklahoma town is disappointed. Blanchard residents were supposed to dedicate a project today honoring those who served the country, but they were let down instead. OU Nightly's Dakota Wapakichi is live in Blanchard. Dakota, you got to see their disappointment firsthand.
Yeah, the city was working on a Veterans Memorial Park and they planned to dedicate it today. And you know, it's took some time to get where they are now with the park here and the construction materials here, and many are pretty disappointed that it wasn't finished today.
Not many come to this small town.
All gave some, and some gave all.
Blanchard's mayor calling the project one of the top things he's done in his time working for the city since 2012.
Recognizing the veterans for what they have done and what they do. This is probably the most accomplishing aspect, yes.
But inflation and rising cost has made this difficult for them to finish the project. The estimated cost for the project was a little over $250,000 in 2020. Now that number has jumped to over $400,000. This memorial is now sitting alone and unfinished on the day it was set to be dedicated on Veterans Day 2023.
I'm extremely disappointed that this delay we've had to deal with this.
Someone even made their way to the 10 a.m. time that was set for the dedication, but walked away sad after learning it was postponed.
Are they going to dedicate it today?
No.
Now, this memorial will eventually have more features honoring our veterans, like a flag representing each branch of the armed services to honor bricks representing a service member for their time. Some service members who have honor bricks named after them passed away during the construction of the project and will never get to see the finished product. The mayor says it's unfortunate and they're hoping for better fortunes going forward.
But we've had several people that was looking forward to this dedication, and that is really disappointing in that respect.
Yeah, the city tells me they don't even have the money to pay for the rest of the materials to finish this project, and they can't use tax dollars, so they're looking for your help. And the mayor tells me that you can visit the city's website to make a donation or call to the city to make that donation. And they're hoping to get that money before the end of the year, hopefully, to have it done in time for May 2024. In Blanchard, Dakota Wapakichi, OU Nightly.
Thank you, Dakota. Now turning to weather, we've been seeing some beautiful foliage on the OU campus these past couple days.
Definitely, and OU meteorologist Peyton Gallion has a first look at possible changes to our fall weather. Peyton?
Yeah, Noah, over the weekend we're going to have those drop in temperatures, but right now enjoy it while you can. The leaves are changing. It's finally feeling like fall. Mid-60s across the good majority of the state of Oklahoma. We had that cold front come through the other day. Temperatures are once again rising. You can see over 10 degrees warmer compared to this time yesterday across a good majority of the state. So coming up in main weather, I'm going to talk about those remaining rain chances moving on out, your game day forecast for tomorrow night, and the quiet weather pattern we have in the week ahead.
Thank you, Peyton. A top U.S. official says too many Palestinian lives have been lost in the Israel-Hamas war. Spencer Tabb has that and the rest of today's national and international headlines from the News Center.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken calls for more to be done in protecting Palestinians and making sure they get the help they need.
Far too many Palestinians have been killed. Far too many have suffered these past weeks. And we want to do everything possible to prevent harm to them and to maximize the assistance that gets to them.
Blinken adds the U.S. will continue to discuss with Israel about the next steps to get aid to Gaza. Palestinian health officials say more than 11,000 civilians have been killed from Israeli attacks since October 7th. A Georgia man is charged after threatening to kill Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, her family, and her staff. According to the representative, 34-year-old Patrick Cirillo called Greene's office and threatened to shoot and kill her. As a result, Greene closed her district office due to the threat. The Kentucky governor declares a state of emergency as more than 30 wildfires burn across the state. Governor Andy Beshear says ongoing drought conditions intensified the threat. A dozen counties in Kentucky are currently under total burn bans, and all counties in the state are under overnight bans until December 15th. And former President Trump's trial on the mishandling of classified documents remains set for May, despite his efforts to push it past the November 2024 election. Victoria, Noah?
Thank you, Spencer. And up next on OU Nightly Veterans Day, celebrations are gearing up. We'll tell you what OU is doing to commemorate its veterans.
But first, health experts are raising awareness for veteran mental health. Find out what you can do to support a veteran you know. Coming up.
As we honor Veterans Day this weekend, health experts say there are ways you can help support their mental health. Psychologists say reaching out to veterans you know and providing a support system can help them significantly.
They kind of feel, I can do this on my own. I don't want anybody to help me, and I don't want to bother other people.
Ryan adds it's also important to let veterans know resources are available nationally and in the state. Resources such as the mental health hotline at 988 and the Veterans Crisis Line.
And here on campus, OU is also honoring students, faculty, and staff who have served in the military. The university is hosting the first Veterans Zone, a study and lounge area at the Student Union to help foster community. All veterans and current service members have 24-hour access to the space with the use of a key card. OU is also inviting all of its veterans to plant a flag on the South Oval this afternoon.
And coming up, local holiday attractions are putting the Sooner State on the map this holiday season.
Find out which lights are shining the brightest in the nation when we return.
All week, our weather has been back and forth. How are we going to look next week? I'll let you know that after the break. Welcome back to OU Nightly, and like we have been saying, it is a beautiful day outside. That fall foliage, you can see that on the South Oval, 63 degrees, not a cloud in the sky. Overall, a great day. I know this week we've had high temperatures, we've had low temperatures. Now we're in the 60s. What else can we have? Across the state, same story as well. Mid 60s across the good majority of central, eastern, and western Oklahoma. But one thing I want to point out is that it is very dry. These dew points are in the 20s. I've been putting chapstick on all day if you see me walking around, and you can see you need some lotion on your hands. It's just very dry. This comes with those winter cooler temperatures. Going out a little bit, we can see out west we have some 40s in Colorado and New Mexico, and that's because we do have some high pressure systems kind of north of us and to the west of us. Down south, they are getting some rain. So over the next few days, this is actually going to continue and kind of stay stationary around there. Notice how we aren't getting anything. Everything's basically going around us. We can see lots of heavy rain down south as those high pressure systems move out. But I want to bring your attention to this out in the Pacific Ocean. That is going to be our next weather maker going forward. But again, just torrential rainfall down in the south, and they need it. You can see extreme drought conditions in parts of Mississippi and Louisiana. Even here in Oklahoma, we have extreme drought conditions as well. So are we going to get any rain going forward? Well, looking at our futurecast, we're not going to get anything that's going to help us. We have these sporadic showers going out throughout early tomorrow. You can see going to the game, we have these clouds lingering around throughout the duration of the game, but no rainfall and clearing out by Saturday. So for the next few days ahead for the rest of the week, not any beneficial rain chances whatsoever. We're going to be climbing back into the 60s once again. We have those lows staying in the 40s, but you notice we're going to be in the 50s tomorrow for that game day. We are going to have a night game as we take on West Virginia. So anyone of y'all heading out to the game tomorrow night?
I am actually going to stay inside and watch the game from my warm home. I've got a friend in town.
I'm excited to bring out my winter Sooner gear and enjoy a night game, which we haven't had in so long.
Yes,
I'm so ready.
Definitely going to want to bundle up. It's going to feel a little bit more like the holidays around here, then I know we're all ready for that.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Peyton. And if the weather's not enough to get you in the holiday spirit, 2 of Oklahoma's holiday light attractions have been nominated by USA Today as some of the best light displays in the nation. The Oklahoma City Zoo's Safari Lights is nominated for Best Zoo Lights, and the Chickasha Festival of Light is up for the Best Public Holiday Light Display. USA Today calling the Festival of Lights the granddaddy of all light shows. You can vote on USA.com until November 29th. And OU football is back at home tomorrow and welcomes West Virginia under the lights.
Our OU Nightly Sports team breaks down the matchup and all this weekend's action on the Sooner slate, coming up on Big Friday Sports.
Welcome to Big Friday Sports. I'm Melina Samir.
And I'm Emily Faith. We've got a packed show for you tonight with college football in the spotlight, starting with breaking news out of Ann Arbor. The Big Ten has suspended Michigan head football coach Jim Harbaugh for the rest of the regular season. The decision comes after the NCAA opened an investigation into Michigan's alleged sign-stealing scandal. Harbaugh is still allowed to coach throughout the week and is only banned from the sidelines on game day.
The Mountaineers are taking the country roads down to Norman as they take on the Sooners tomorrow under the Palace lights. OU Nightly's Kaylee Jo Hummel is live outside Gaylord Family Memorial Stadium to preview the matchup. Kaylee Jo?
After back-to-back away losses, a night game in the Palace could be the cure that the Sooners need. OU football is suited up for a primetime matchup against West Virginia in the stadium that they call home.
Preparation is everybody will have the same amount of time, so I'm not sure if it's an advantage or not. I've said it many times. I think most players and coaches prefer to wake up and go play, but it is an opportunity for our guys to sleep in and get a little bit more rest, catch up from the week.
Everyone loves playing at home. I love playing in the Palace. I always cherish that and I feel treasure that and trying to soak it in as my time in the Palace is definitely dwindling down. But yeah, I think road games or home games, I think we definitely approach it the same way. It's football at the end of the day, and we prepare the same way. But it definitely we like playing in the Palace.
Since the year 2000, Oklahoma's won more Big 12 championships than its lost games at home. Saturday's kickoff is at 6 p.m. Reporting from Gaylord Memorial Stadium, Kaylee Jo Hummel.
Thanks, Kaylee Jo. It's Oklahoma versus the world as the Big 12 farewell tour continues for them. OU Nightly's Blake Mullen was at Big 12 Media Days over the summer and spoke with West Virginia head coach Neil Brown about his team's search for vengeance against the Sooners.
Hello from Big 12 Media Days here in Arlington, Texas. As some teams are focused on Oklahoma and Texas leaving in a negative impact, West Virginia head coach Neil Brown is just focused on getting revenge for their 2021 loss in Norman.
It doesn't really have anything to do with it being on their way out. Is more so the last time we were in Norman in 21, we really outplayed them and lost the game on a walk-off field goal. And we had an unfortunate turnover. We were driving to really take control of that game, and we had a turnover and allowed them to get in position to kick the game-winning field goal. So more excited about returning to that and see if we can finish what we weren't able to finish in 21. More so than that being their last game.
The Mountaineers are aiming to beat the Sooners in back-to-back seasons when they head to Norman on November 11th. From AT&T Stadium here in Arlington, Texas, Blake Mullen, Game Day U.
The Sooners have no problem recruiting high-profile prospects, including four-star quarterback commit from Carl Albert High School, Kevin Speary. Our very own Brig Bates has the details on his journey to OU.
Touchdown, Carl Albert High.
High school football is more than just a sport. It's traditions, cultures, and the dream of lifting a state championship. And Kevin Sperry knew that there was more than just tossing the pigskin.
And I was a part of a new high school. It was only our third year from being built, I'm pretty sure. So there wasn't a lot of traditions and culture just because we were brand new. What really triggered it for us was getting closer to OU, because we always wanted to be close to where I went to college. And I would say my early commitment kind of sped that process up for us.
Kevin Sperry took a leap of faith, leaving his old high school to join one of the winningest programs in the state of Oklahoma, to one day lead his teammates to the state championship and lift Carl Albert's 18th state football trophy.
But I'm also not focused totally on college. I'm focused on this team, focused on going undefeated and winning a state championship, and just making sure that all my teammates are being lifted up each practice, and just making sure that I got their back and they know that I have their back.
And speaking of his teammates, the OU DNA is running through Carl Albert, as Sperry's connection with 3 of his teammates will continue to grow, but this time in the Crimson and Cream.
I'm glad Marcus James made the switch too. I actually didn't know he was here, or Trinae, prior to transferring here. I knew Tristan was here, I knew Extra was here, but I didn't know about those two. So when I found out those two were here too, it was a big plus.
Sperry might not be Sooner born, but he's full steam ahead of becoming Sooner bred.
Just the culture again. I think Coach Venables brought in a great culture. He brought in a great coaching staff, and I feel like Coach Lebby's offense fits my playing style. I always wanted to play in the SEC growing up.
Sperry's goal this season is to bring home the gold ball, but the junior quarterback can add 2 more state trophies before he leaves. Reporting from Carl Albert High School, Brig Bates, OU Nightly.
And the playoffs are firing up for Okie Preps. OU Nightly's Kaylee Carnine is in the studio live to highlight some Thursday night lights in this week's edition of Kickoff with Kay.
Welcome back to Kickoff with Kay. Norman fans are still celebrating after a win last night, but it wasn't OU under the Thursday night lights. Norman High School hosted Broken Arrow for the first round of 6A playoffs. The night started with Norman on top after Cameron Donald took the opening kick all the way to the house for a touchdown. After the 95-yard kickoff return, the Tigers could not be tamed. Norman would score again in the first quarter, but Broken Arrow quarterback Cooper Bates broke through defenders on this keep. The 76-yard touchdown would make it 14-7 Norman going into the half. Broken Arrow battled to the end, finding the end zone and a 2-point conversion with 9:17 left in the fourth to cut Norman's lead to 3. But a Broken Arrow turnover on downs late in the fourth would do it for the Norman Tigers. And Norman would claw their way to a 21-18 victory. Norman will play in the quarterfinals next Friday at 7, but today another Norman team takes the field. The Norman North Timberwolves face the Edmond North Huskies tonight at 7. If both Norman schools win in the 6A quarterfinals, we could see a part 2 of the crosstown clash. Emily Molina.
Thanks, Kaylee. When we come back, we'll take a look at some other Sooner sports.
From the court to the diamond to the hockey arena, you won't want to miss what's coming up next.
Welcome back to Big Friday Sports. And if you are heading out tomorrow night to the Palace on the Prairie for one last prime time at the Palace, you're going to want to bundle up. If you're out tailgating in the afternoon, lower 50s. Once again, by kickoff, we're going to be in the lower 50s, dropping down to the 40s by halftime and postgame. We do have those clouds coming into the forecast, so make sure you stay warm and cheer on the Sooners.
Thanks, Peyton. Switching over from the gridiron to the ice, OU Nightly's Ben Dacu laced up his skates and hit the rink with OU Hockey's head coach and talked about his journey from the pros to the Crimson and Cream.
Once a Blazer and now a Sooner. OU hockey head coach Peter Arvanitis is no stranger to hockey in Oklahoma. The Sooners skipper played 7 seasons for the Oklahoma City Blazers. Seeing an opportunity, I laced up my skates to speak to the Mad Greek about his original stint in Oklahoma.
We had such great fan support. We were always averaging the most attendance in minor hockey. We did a good job at being accessible to the fans. Whether it was going to, birthday parties or any type of event, we're always available. So I think that fan-to-player interaction went pretty far over here. And obviously being a good hockey team and always being competitive every year always helps.
Now, I noticed in one of your years with the Blazers, you had quite a bit of penalty minutes, and I believe you said you led the league that year?
Yeah, that was actually my first year here. I think I had a little over 400 minutes, and that's the year I think I led the league in major fightings too, I think with 35. So, but again, it may seem like a lot, but that was the style of play back then. When you knew you were playing Tulsa or Wichita, those are our big rivalry games, you knew that fisticuffs was probably going to happen.
What does it mean to you to be a head coach at the University of Oklahoma?
Oh, it's great. You know, you're not only part of basically the head coach of a hockey team, you're literally the head coach of the University of Oklahoma, which is a premier school, obviously, not only in academics but in athletics as well. And I'm proud to be the head coach of this hockey team.
Ben Dacu, OU Nightly.
OU women's basketball took their shot at number 12 Ole Miss, and they scored an upset. Skylar Vann put up a career high of 24 points on the scoreboard, and freshman Sahara Williams scored herself a double-double. The Sooners beat the Rebels 80-70 and returned to Norman to face Oral Roberts on Sunday.
Year 3 of the Porter Moser era is off to a hot 1-0 start. And tonight, OU men's basketball continues their home slate as they welcome Mississippi Valley State to Norman. The Sooners and the Delta Devils tip off at the Lloyd Noble Center at 7:01 p.m.
Fall ball has wrapped up for OU softball. The final game in the Battle Series ended in a win for Team 3, and Kelly Maxwell, Ella Parker, and Hannah Kaur split the title of MVP for Game 5. The national champs are turning their focus now to the upcoming regular season.
Taking it over to the mat, last night OU Wrestling opened this season with a 21-11 win over Central Michigan. The Sooners started the night strong with an 11-0 lead, and Wyoming transfer Steven Buchanan won his debut match. Up next, OU will compete at the Michigan State Open on Saturday. So Emily, who are you looking out for this Saturday with the Sooners hitting the Palace this Saturday?
Well, I'm really looking for Tywee Walker. I think he's been a force on the field, and if he's back from that injury, I know he was injured in Kansas. He played a little bit last week, but if he plays the entire game, he could be a big game changer. What about you?
Definitely, I'm saying Dylan Gabriel, but thank you so much for watching Big Friday Sports. I'm Melina Samir.
And I'm Emily Faith. Have a fun and football-filled weekend.